Welcome everyone. Good afternoon, good evening, good morning, wherever you are in the world watching this webinar. My name is Jose Carlos Diaz. I am the coordinator of Spanish Sport University, the Madrid headquarters of Ucom Spanish Sport University. And today we are doing this webinar about sport management and sport industry. This is one of the webinars that we are organizing from Ucom Spanish Sport University since the last week and this week, trying to offer to our attendees different webinars about the sport areas, sport industry, sport performance. And today we are proud to have here with us one of our alumni, Giorgio Gagliardi, who is actually working for Sassuolo Football Club in Italy, and one of our professors of the MBA Sport Management program, Maheta Molango, who has been former CEO of Real Club Deportivo Mallorca and advisory member in Becker and Mckenzie. So for today's session, I'm going to explain a little how it's going to be. First of all, Giorgio will do a presentation about female soccer in Italy, okay? And after that, we will discuss with Maheta Molango about some subjects related with the actual sport industry situation. And at the end, we will offer the opportunity to ask different questions to our speakers today. For that, please, in this platform, Zoom, you have different tools in the bottom of the screen, the chat, and another one which is questions and answer. So please, for this, for sending the questions to our speakers today, use the tool of questions and answers, okay? That would be at the end of the session. Giorgio, it's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for being here and sharing your knowledge. Maheta, welcome again, and thank you for being here today with us. We will talk with you later, but first we are going to start with Giorgio. So, Giorgio, whenever you want, you can
Thank you, Carlos. Good afternoon from Italy. I will share the screen. Okay, just a little presentation. I'm Giorgio Gagliardi from Italy. I'm working as a secretary women's football team of Sassuolo Calcio. And just let's start. Today, sorry, 1 second. We are going to speak about the impact of COVID-19 on women's football. So I divided the presentation in a general overview about women's football. Then we'll see the impact of COVID-19. And then we are going to see the case of Sassuolo Calcio, how Sassuolo Calcio faced the situation. Okay. So the women's football is growing a lot in the last period. There are a lot of in every side of the industry. First of all, I want to show you this picture. That is the UEFA Women's Champions League final in 2019 in our stadium, Mba Stadium, because this was very important for us as a Sassuolo Calcio, because this was the first step in our path on women's football, because we never had a women's team. So after this, the club decided to invest in women's football. The interest is growing a lot in attendance. This is a typical one of the most famous matches in front of more than 60,000 people in Wanda Metropolitano, Atletico Madrid, Barcelona. But we are talking about an interest not only in attendance, but also in sponsorship, because because brands like Barclays, Visa, Iberdrola, so very solid and important brands, decided to invest in women's football because they want to to share the values of women's football, like the inclusion, like the positivity, like the promotion of the equal, the equality. And for them, for this kind of brand, women's football is a new market, is a new target. So these are three typical examples. Like Barclays, they are the main sponsor of the English Women's Football Championship. Visa is linked to UEFA, is the first ever UEFA sponsor dedicated only to the women's football. And then Iberdrola, that is the title sponsorship with La Primera División in a deal of 1 million per year. As we said, the interest is growing in sponsorship and in attendance. The most is growing in registered player. So, like in Italy, in the last decade, we had an increment of an increase of the player registration of 46%. But the most important information is that in the last 10 years, we doubled the inscription of the kids that are the future of the sport. Okay, so let's see. After this general overview of the women's football, I want to show you the loss of the revenue in the last year for the situation of emergency. And the top 20 clubs in Europe lost 1 billion euros. This is a very important information because, of course, the football industry lost a lot of money. And in the football industry, the women's part, the women's side, is the most vulnerable part. So the threat was that the men's club wanted to decrease the investment in women's football, because women's football nowadays is just an asset for the men. There are no revenues. There are no ticketing, no TV rights. There are TV rights, but they are very low. So there was this threat. A survey of FIFPro, that is the global representative for professional football players, represent the effects of COVID. So we have the reduction of salary. There were no physical and mental support by the federation and the club to the players. A lot of contracts were suspended. There was the reduction of the financial support by the government and by the federation. A lot of leagues were suspended. And after the protocol, after the exit of the protocol, the women's area was not included into the protocol. And a lot of players had the problem of the communication, because they were not included into the making process, into the decision. So the communication was poor, and they didn't know if the leagues will keep going on. Despite of this period, there were a lot of initiatives. These are three examples. So we have Atletico Madrid, Potsdam, and Levante, because they all the female club and all the players decided to give a contribute to the community. So they try to provide medical device. They donate their salary to the German Cross. These are just three examples, but in all the world, all the Europe, it's full of this kind of social initiatives. So let's see Sassuolo Calcio, how we faced this situation, and what are our threats? What were our threats? So there were a lot of expenses about the new protocol, decrease on invisibility, sponsorship loyalty. We have a lot of problems for the scouting and for the tryout because of obviously the limitation, quarantine, and so on. The employees layoff. We were, as a Sassuolo Calcio, we are very lucky because our society decided to don't lay off employees. decided to increase the investment in football area because they believe in this movement in this area. First problems were about the communication and social media reaction, because the activity was suspended, so there were no content to publish. So we tried to start a new kind of engagement, like a digital engagement. We start post videos of the players where they training. We start spread a positive message and quotes like "Andrà tutto bene, everything will be fine."
In questi giorni stiamo continuando ad allenarci nel cortile di casa, sempre mantenendo le distanze. Accetto la sfida di rimanere a casa. Forza Sassuolo. Anch'io accetto la sfida e resto a casa. Forza Sassuolo.
Yeah, sorry. These were like the video we post, trying to give the good example to the people that were in lockdown, showing how our athletes were faced the lockdown with the training receipts. And then we try to engage people with the Q&A with our players, and so this was our reaction to the social media side. For us, we thought we thought that challenge is an opportunity. So we started new ideas. We started creating new ideas. We are so lucky because we had a lot of financial support by the federation and by the government that with funds support us to the protocol and to come back to play football. We are organizing the national events of women's area. So next week we host the final four of the under 19 leagues, and the 30th of May we host the final cup. We try in this year to get closer with our stakeholder in a trustworthy relationship. And we also made an agreement, thanks to the federation, with new broadcasters. So from this year, our matches will broadcast also are broadcasting also in other countries in Europe, like Norway, Sweden, Estonia, Poland, and so on. We started a new project in this period. So in November, we launched our new e-commerce, our new official online store. And in December, we launched our first new official store in Sassuolo Calcio, our city. Then we try to organize new events with our sponsor, because we were not allowed to, of course, to make live events. So we try to get closer to our sponsorship, making business-to-business events online, and we are trying also to participate in a program made by European Union, Erasmus+, in which we can share our values, our ideas, and our ideas about marketing, communication, about methodological training. So with our partner, that will be also clubs in Europe, we will start this collaboration in a program of 3 years, where European Union give us funds in order to reach our objective. I think it's almost 15 minutes, so thank you.
Okay, Giorgio, thank you very much.
Thank you
for sharing all this information with us. It's always an honor to see how our alumni are now working for for clubs, for entities. So thank you very much and congratulations. Okay.
Thank you, Sir Carlos. Sorry for my English. It's 2 years that I just speak Italian, so I need to come back to English. Sorry.
Okay. Don't
for
worry.
Me, it's an honor. Thank you for the possibility, for the opportunity.
Yeah, we will talk later about your experience during the MBA, during the master. Okay. But first, let me continue introducing again Mr. Maheta Molango, former CEO at Real Club Deportivo Mallorca and advisory board member at Baker Mckenzie. He is one of our professors in the Mba Sport Management program in the different versions that we have in Madrid and Murcia. We will talk later about them. So Maheta, thank you very much for being here with us. It's an honor and a privilege to hear from you. And I think we're going to spend a little time talking about how the situation around the football, the sport industry, and obviously because your background about football also is nowadays. So Maheta, being here today.
Thank you for having me, Jose Carlos. A pleasure.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you different questions, okay? So we can discuss, or you can share your point of view, your perspective about different subjects related with the sport industry nowadays. So we have seen during this pandemic period that the sponsorships between brands and entities have been affected. How do you think this management of sponsorship is going to face the near future?
I think it's a very good question, and I'd like to maybe take a more of a positive approach. Although it's true that there's been a lot of clubs affected by some decrease in the sponsorship deals, I still think that a number of interesting kind of opportunities will arise. And the first one being the fact that in the end, although some sectors have suffered due to COVID, not all the industries have suffered the same. And I think it's a very good opportunity to maybe look at the industries that typically would not be the typical targets for sponsorship. For example, health, for example, IT services, for example, delivery, cryptocurrency. So we've seen how certain industries that typically were not kind of very visible in the sports world all of a sudden have an interest in sports and have an interest in football. So that's to me the first very interesting kind of reflection I would make. The second one is also the fact that whereas before it was very much about visibility, so I am a sponsor because I want to become visible, I think now it becomes much more about partnership. So you see that people become much more creative in terms of using the sponsorship as a way to make B2B contacts. So in the end, it becomes more about, if I'm your sponsor, how can you as a club introduce me to other companies, which then in turn will give me some sort of a return, no? So I think what we're seeing is that people now no longer see sponsorship as sponsorship, but rather as partnership, and you as a club as a platform of putting people in touch to make business, no? And as a third point, what I'd like to mention is it's very interesting to see that now a lot of sponsors no longer just do that for visibility purposes, but also do that because they want to be linked with something with a purpose. We saw how Amazon, for example, signed a naming rights deal in the US, this climate pledge arena deal, in the US, and the name of Amazon was not even there. It was about them doing something for a good cause, no? So I think it's another very interesting avenue to explore for clubs and other properties.
Thank you. Very, very, very interesting, your point of view. I would like to continue because it has been more than 1 year now without fans in the stadiums and sport events. Now we are seeing how people are going activities. And the ticketing strategies are going to be very important for the coming back. So how are the ticketing strategies going to be from now on?
Well, I think there's an interesting trend. What I would say to you is that COVID has accelerated certain trends which were just incipient maybe before the crisis. And one of them is linked to data. I think before the crisis, we barely even know who was coming to the stadium in terms of age, social background, demographics, etc. And I think now what COVID will do is that a lot of things will turn to digital, especially digital ticketing. And this will enable the clubs to really know much more about who is at the stadium, who's coming to the stadium, what are the preferences, and therefore this will also help them, targeting much better the different audiences, offering a product which is much more tailored to what they want. So in summary, kind of understanding much more who the fans are, what they like, and how they spend their money. So that's one thing. And the other one is, I was a big fan of the experience at the stadium. So making sure people have fun when they come and watch a game. I think now this will become the safe experience at the stadium. No? So people will not only want to come to have fun, but also to be safe. No? So I think there's a big kind of thinking process for the clubs in terms of how can I ensure that the people who come to the stadium feel safe. No? So yeah, I think in general, it's very interesting because whereas a lot of clubs would be in the comfort zone, now they all need to think. We all need to think because it's just not the normal. We need to create a new normal. And I think this will be very clear from a ticketing perspective.
Okay, thank you. And well, the sports industry is continuously evolving and adapting to the newest scenarios like digital or premium experiences that you were talking before. For this new environment, what are the key points that the industry is looking for in the new professionals?
Well, clearly, and you've seen the increase in number of people registering for the program, such as the one that Ucam has, that clearly there's on the one hand a bigger interest from people to get involved in the sports industry. And second, the sport industry is now asking for more professional people, more sophisticated people, because maybe 10 years ago, a club was just run like a hobby. There was just a very wealthy person spending a few spare euros in the club, and that was it. Nowadays, you need sophisticated professionals, you need people who think, and the clubs have been forced to think outside of the box, and therefore they need fresh minds, fresh ideas, and educated people. So I think that's why it's so important to have programs such as the one that you have at Ucam to actually train people in specific areas, because that's what the club now requests, and that's what we want: talent, but educated talent. Sure.
I agree with you. Now, I think we are seeing the end of the tunnel, and everybody is very excited to return to their, let's say, normal life. Okay, what are the new challenges that the industry will have to face in the coming future?
It's another good question. The first thing is that we're seeing how the way that fans actually, so the fan consumption in terms of how they actually experience sports and football is changing, no? So the habits of the fans on TV, for example, are changing. So people no longer want to stay 90 minutes watching an entire game. They want the TV broadcaster to provide a product which is much more aligned with what the younger generation want to see, a generation which is no longer as patient as we used to be to watch game for 90 minutes. So I think there is a real need to adapt the product to the new reality, to new tastes and habits of the people. And we're seeing how now the difference between sports and entertainment is becoming more and more blurred, no? And a lot of people seeing sports no longer just sports, but rather entertainment. So how can we adapt to that? How can we make sure that this product is a product which is attractive to younger generation? We also see that, for example, the TV audiences have dropped. And obviously in a lot of countries like Spain, being TV the main source of income, you need to think, why is it that people no longer watch as much, football on TV as they used to? What is going wrong? How can we address that? No? And to me, this is probably the most pressing and the most important question to answer, because ultimately it's the future of the sports. No? So to me, it's a question of adapting to what the new generation want and the new channel of communication. For example, we see now players being presented on Twitch. This was unthinkable a few years ago. It was not the typical press conference, etc. Now you need to try to appeal to different people. But to me, it's a balance between adapting to new times, but at the same time not losing the essence of what made us falling in love with football. And this is the live stadium experience. This is the passion of the fans. This is the helmet, this is an anthem, this is the colors of your team. Sometimes I think because we want to improve commercially and because we want to improve, we forget what are the key recipes of the game. No? And when I see my kids watching a game and you don't even know who is playing because the colors are no longer the actual real colors of your team, right? So I think you need to evolve, but without losing the essence of what made us falling in love,
Yeah, definitely. So we're getting to the end of this last kind of interview, okay? But do you think it is important for the people who are interested to become professionals in the sport industry to do postgraduate studies related to the industry? And further, which areas of knowledge are going to be more relevant in the next 5 years?
Yes, I mean, to answer your first question, my answer would be yes. I think it is important to do it for several reasons. One being that although sports is evolving and football is evolving, it is still not a sector where the good roles are available to the wide public. So I think doing this type of master will enable you to first meet certain professors who can become kind of work providers or give you real work opportunities. You can meet other teammates or classmates who end up being in good position and can open doors to you. So from the perspective of networking and understanding from the inside the industry, I think it's almost a must as of today to do that, because it's not like a normal job where you can find easily job position on the website of a club. No, I think you need to be an insider, and the way of being an insider is, for example, attending this type of program. So that's a yes for the first question. And the second question, I believe, was around the type of specialties that they need to focus on. Look, there are a number of them, but I would say, everything around stadium operation and stadium monetization. For example, now in Spain, people have understood the value of having your own stadium. So you need people who are able to operate those stadiums, a Wanda Metropolitano or a stadium like Levante, a stadium like Athletic Bilbao. And this requires specific knowledge about that monetization of a stadium. You think about data. Data is very important both on the sports side as well as on the non-sports side. Commercially now, as I said to you before, you need to create new partnership in terms of the sponsorship activities. Legal and compliance, the sports industry is becoming more and more regulated. So there is a lot of job opportunity linked to legal and to compliance. And then probably also fan engagement, online and offline. So those are just a few examples of areas where I think there will be, or there are, job opportunities. And typically those areas are covered by the type of program that Ucam is providing to students.
Okay, thank you very much, Maheta, for sharing your perspective and your ideas with us today. I will stop here doing questions. Let's give the opportunity to our attendees to do it. But first, I will also like to speak a little about our programs and our academic offer. Okay, we are UCAM Spanish Sport University. We are a postgraduate school in which we develop different programs, postgraduate programs related with the sports in all of these different areas: sport management, health and physical activity, sport performance, and marketing and communication. We develop different programs. As you can see here, we have a lot of them in English and Spanish, related with all of these areas that I said before. And also we have a very good relationship and agreement with Barça Innovation Hub, and all the students that are coursing this year and the next one, any of our master programs will also have the opportunity to do a Barça Innovation Hub course included in the fee of the master. We have a very close relationship with them, and we think this is the best way to also give our students the opportunity to get a specialization in any of the areas that Barça Innovation Hub has. Also, Maheta and Giorgio have said something related with this, but I would like to highlight some of the key points about the Ucom experience. You are going to be in a very international environment with different classmates and different students from many countries. And this is very important because you are going to do a lot of networking. You are going to be connected with a lot of people around the globe. And for example, we have had different examples of success stories where alumni of the MBA program have, after finishing their MBA or their master program, they have run together different events, sport events, or different projects. So it's great for us to be proud of these activities. Of course, we want to develop your professional path, your professional career throughout the curriculum that we do in the master. We have a very specialized professors that have a high level and even in the academic background and the professional background, and they can share all their academic and professional experience to the students, so they can get a guarantee that the things that they are learning during the course are top and high class. Okay. Also, we have different agreements with different companies, clubs, entities, etc., and this help to offer our students the opportunity to do an external placement or an internships, as Giorgio did at Sassuolo, and after that he continued there. So it's very important in all of the programs that we have related to the sport industry, Mba Sport Management, sport marketing, etc. All of our students are going to make an internship, and there the students are going to be able to start working in the industry. And if they are lucky, as Giorgio was, they can get a job after in the same company. But if not, they are going to get the experience, and that's very important for the industry, for the companies, because they can try to get a job in another company because they already have a professional experience in the sport industry. So these are the main master programs that we have related with the sport industry. As you can see, we run different ones in Spanish and English. The ones that are 100% related with sport management are the program that we have in Murcia campus, Master in Management of Sport Entities, and the program that we have in Madrid campus, MBA in Sport Management. Both of them have 1 year duration, and they are developed in Spanish and English. The only difference between them is if you want to continue your academic career, if you want to go for a PhD program after coursing this kind of program, the Murcia campus is allow our students to run a PhD program after. And the rest of them are focused on the professional career of our students. So the MBA Sport Management program, English version or Spanish version of Madrid, are focused in developing your professional career in the sport industry. And also we have 2 programs more related with this industry, which are master's degree in sport marketing in Spanish and English. Okay. Both of them are run in Madrid campus, and they also have 1 year duration. Okay. And of course, in all of these programs, as I said before, you will have to complete an internship at least 200 hours of internship. So it gives you time enough to develop your potential and to get the insights of the company in order to grow professionally. Okay, and also in all of these programs, you have the opportunity to make different visits and trips to different entities or clubs where you are going to see how they work daily. Okay. Normally we have the official lectures, okay, where the professors like Maheta are coming to do the lectures, okay, and also you are going to do visits and trips, for example, to Atletico Madrid Stadium or golf courts, etc. Okay, in order to see how they work daily. Okay. And we also would like to invite you to the rest of our sessions that we have this week. Tomorrow we will continue with sport tourism management, and on Thursday the last session we have digital innovation in sports. Okay. If you want more info about our master programs, our courses, about the sessions that we organize and everything, you can contact us through our website and through our Twitter account. Okay. So after that, I think you have had time enough to think about some questions to do to our speakers today. I would like to make the first one to Giorgio. Okay. If you don't mind, as you are an alumni of our MBA Sport Management program, I will like you to ask how important was studying or doing this master program in order to help you in your professional career.
Well, I think it was the key for my professional career to attend this master. I attended the master in sport management in Madrid in English, and it was like I think the most important experience in my life, because it gives me the possibility to share ideas, to know a lot of people, to participate to great lecturers with great professors. There are people from all over the world, so you have to work a lot, because there are a lot of people, like very, very smart people, and you have to think in that way. So I think, and I always say that is the most important experience of my life. Attending this master, you have the possibility to do network. You are involved in this industry. So once you enter in this industry, it's important to enter in this industry. So I think, and I recommend this kind of master.
And Giorgio, what would you highlight about the master? Because we had the lectures, the professors, the trips, the visits.
It was very, very complete as a master. Great lecturers, great professors, and we made a trip to Dubai and Abu Dhabi. Great. We went to visit Wanda Metropolitano, the stadium of Elche, the stadium of Getafe, a lot of infrastructure, very important in Spain. We made a trip in Andalusia, in Valencia. Not Valencia, in Alicante, in Murcia. So it's very complete as a master, and give you the possibility to open your mind and to see this industry in different points of view.
Okay. Thank you very much, Giorgio, for your answer. There are some questions in the tool about the program, so I will answer all of them before going to any question to Maheta. Okay. So first of all, to the questions that George and Ulysses have done, yeah, we provide internships for our students. Okay, even if you are from Spain or foreign students. Okay, in the program you have to do at least 200 hours of curricular internships. Okay, and you can complete those 200 hours with 750 more. Okay, so at the end you can have a complete experience of internship of 950 hours. More or less, if you only complete the mandatory hours that are 200, is more or less 1 month and a half. And if you complete the curricular and extracurricular internships, you can get until 6 months, which is the maximum allowed here in Spain. Okay. And if you are going to do any program in English, it's not necessary to have a very good level of Spanish for the master program. But I always say the same. If you want to get a good internship here in Spain, normally the entities, the clubs, the companies, they need people that speak Spanish. So it's very important for you to know the language, to know anything in Spanish in order to communicate between your colleagues in the internship. So it's very important in that way, okay? And if we have online masters related with sport industry, we don't have it. We only have on-campus masters. All of them that you have seen before are on campus in Madrid or Murcia, but we are planning to create a new one online, but it's not going to be for the next year. It's going to be in 2 or 3 years. Okay. We have here one question from Mark Bentham for Maheta. What do you think is the reality of the football industry would have been if Super League had gone ahead?
I just unmuted. Okay, I'm back. Look, I mean, frankly, I think I share the concerns that have been expressed by the fans and by the players about what could have happened if the Super League would have gone ahead. Luckily, it looks as if this is something which is now at least under better control than it was just a few days ago. And let's hope also that this is going to open up to a wider discussion as to what type of football do we want, and what is the future of the competition in general, and I think this is at times this type of situation which are not always nice to go through. I think sometimes can serve as an opportunity to rethink the model and think about where we're heading to and what is at heart of our loved sport. And clearly, I think the fans are in the middle, the players are in the middle, and those are voices that needs to be heard. This is very clear to me, and this was a good example of that.
Okay, thank you, Maheta, for the answer. It seems we don't have more questions. Oh, yes, Mark is replying. And how do you think football could capture the attention of a younger audience without betraying its more classic audience?
That's a very good question. And that's precisely what I was saying before. No, I think that's where, to me, the opinion of younger people who attend programs such as the one in Ucam is so important, because in the end, sometimes what you see is that at the end, the people making decisions are always the same people, no? Always the same faces, always the same opinion. And that's where it's very interesting for the football industry to hear from the younger audience and not just assume what their opinion may be, no? So that's precisely where I believe that this type of program could be a plus and give the chance to more younger audience to have a real say in the debate that the football industry is having about its future. Because as I said to you, a lot of time it's about always the same faces having the same debates, and it's time to open up to younger people to actually say and share what they want, what they expect from football going forward.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's see if we have any other question. If not, also time's running out, so I will let's get to the end of this session. Okay, I would like first to give you a last word, Maheta and Giorgio, to say goodbye to our attendees. So Giorgio, please, you can.
Thank you, Sir Carlos, for the opportunity to share women's football, to share the values of women's football and how we face this situation. And thank you for the attention to all the attendees. And thank you again.
Thanks to you.
Well, thank you, Jose Carlos. No, I think it's just great to be back home. I consider Ucam to be home, so thank you for the opportunity to be back with you guys, and congratulations to Giorgio. It's very nice to go to a program lecture, and then I don't think that I had the chance to have in class, but it's great to see that people then get good opportunities, and that's what the program is all about, not to be able to learn, enjoy, and then come back and have real good opportunity in the professional life. So congrats. I'll try to come by and watch a game of your team in Italy.
Sure. Thank you, Maheta, for sharing your ideas. Thank you.
So thank you very much to both of you, and also thank you very much to all the people that has registered for this webinar and all the attendees. It's been great to spend a little time with you today, and of course I would like to wish you the best. Good luck, and please be safe and healthy during this time. Okay. Thank you very much. Goodbye and bye-bye.
Thank you.